What's up, y'all? Nightmare Baller 1, Nightmare Comics 1, and this is something that I wanted to do, but I could not do because I hadn't seen it yet, and I want to talk about, spoilers in general, because it's hard to even talk about this movie without talking about spoilers, and this is my spoiler review of Captain America Brave New World. The weird thing about this, right? And oh, by the way, back in the chaotic room. This is my work from home room. uh, Clothes and work from home shit over here because I only use this room when I need to work. It's kind of funny that occasionally my girlfriend's son will sleep here if we have, if we need guests, if we have guests here. My fucking sleeping here, but we clean up by then. But yeah, anyway, it'd be kind of weird just to have this chaos behind me and not bring it up. Also, a lot of people from our Discord, the Once in a Blue Moon podcast Discord, might be in here, might listen to this show. I will discuss, well, might listen to this review. I will discuss the drama after the review because I think it would be weird for me not to say anything. I think it would just be weird for me to act like nothing and not say anything because I'm not doing this on our show proper because there's some things that need to be said. Moving on. So yeah, this movie. I feel like the biggest casualty of this movie is the cast because I don't feel like this movie is terrible like people have been saying, like the worst comic book movie ever, of the MCU. I've seen people say that. I feel like the 52% on Rotten Tomatoes is completely justified though, because it is non-essential at all. It is completely just like perfunctory superhero spy thriller. You know what I mean? And oddly a sequel to Incredible Hulk of all things, because one of the biggest things and themes of this movie is General Thunderbolt Ross, and I thought Harrison Ford was actually really good. I thought that them kind of making it about like the sins of his past and how people view him, I thought it was a really smart move if it wasn't so underbaked. The problem is though, is that what does this have to do with Sam Wilson? Like everything about like the people that Thunderbolt Ross wronged and the people that he's lied to and everything with his daughter is way more effective if you use the guy this all stems from, the Hulk. This is a Hulk movie disguised as a Captain America movie. They reference the brawl in Harlem with Abomination and the Hulk. They reference that Liv Tyler, Betty Ross, does not talk to him at all, and she appears a little bit in the movie. They talk about him and his health, which was like a little thing teased in the original Incredible Hulk movie, and it's just like this would be so much more effective if this came out, fucking the same movie, the same premise and all that stuff. If it came out, let's say about 15, 20 years ago, whenever not that long, about 15 years ago, whenever Incredible Hulk came out with Ed Norton, if this came out maybe after the first Avengers movie and Ross runs for president and we address all this stuff, right? After that, because everything that's referenced here is directly to that. The main villain of this movie is Samuel Stearns, the leader. And I really appreciate, because I don't remember if they did, but I really appreciate them not calling him the leader in this. He was just Samuel Stearns. I have the way that they could have made this movie way more exciting. So much of this movie is fixed if we did not know that the Red Hulk was in it at all. Cavity. And we didn't know that. So much of this is fixed. Oh man, bad. It's getting worse. But need to set a dentist appointment. But we would have so much of this movie would have been fixed if we did not know the Red Hulk was in it. Because so much of your enjoyment of the movie hinges on the plan of the leader. And when you see the promotional material and you pretty much see that like Red Hulk, Red Hulk, Red Hulk, Red Hulk, Red Hulk is in this movie, it ruins the effectiveness of how it wraps up. Because if you have high expectations for the Red Hulk, he only appears in the final fight of the movie. And the way another way they could have fixed it is you don't even tease that at all. Maybe you tease Ross being kind of stressed, but you don't have the scene towards the end, because I'm jumping all over the place. The scene towards the end where Sam and fucking Joaquin, who is Falcon Part 2. And by the way, I thought he was great. I thought the whole cast was great. But you don't have that scene where like the leader's like awkwardly on the phone with him, trying to get him to Hulk out. You know what I mean? Maybe you have him kind of set up the fact that this situation is highly stressful for General Ross. And like General Ross looks kind of disheveled and upset and blah, blah, blah. And you kind of cut to that. You kind of tease, like him being upset and disheveled and all that stuff. But you don't know that, fucking, that the Red Hulk is like brewing inside of him. Like you don't know. Also, another thing that would have helped this movie is if you hid the pills. If we never know that, we may find out that General Ross is dying, right? And then maybe he goes, well, I lied to the leader, Samuel Stearns, for him to help me because he knows science and all this stuff so I can live. I'm a bad person. I know. That's why he's upset. That's why all of this is happening. But we don't really understand the leader's plan. That's what they should have done. Then the end plays out basically the same way, where Sam is like, the leader walks up to Sam. Sam is completely like, because he thinks he stopped the entire plan. So Sam, well, not the entire plan, but he feels like, okay, like, what's our next move? Then the leader walks up and he goes, now I got to turn myself in, man. You stopped me from doing what I set out to do. So now I have to turn myself in, because the whole thing with the leader is that he's a master planner. He's the greatest planner in the entire Marvel universe. The man has a gamma enhanced fucking brain that allows him to plan and think things down to the most minute percentage of probability. Yeah, I mean, he's up there with Reed Richards, Iron Man, Black Panther, all of them as the greatest minds in the in all of Marvel Comics. And this whole thing could have been, now I have to turn myself in, like they did in the movie. And he was like, oh, you're Stearns, I've never seen. They could have did a thing where he never actually seen him. He was like, oh, you're Stearns. Like, we see him the whole movie. They know it's Samuel Stearns, Sam, maybe he never encounters him. And he goes, oh shit, Samuel Stearns, get on your knees, you're under arrest, blah, blah. And he was like, well, I hope you're right about General Thunderbolt Ross being a different man. Because if you aren't, I win. Something like that. And it plays out the same way, where he gets all those questions at the fucking speech that he has to put on for, the government officials or whatever. He does the same. It's the same fucking thing. He's getting all those hard ass questions, and then you do that thing where you finally hear him go talk shit. Like, you finally hear a conversation with him and the leader about him confessing, like, you gave me these pills to live and blah blah. That's when you find out literally everything. Then, you know what I mean? You gave me these pills to live and blah blah blah, and why is it so weird? And then we find out they actually had a conversation like, what is in these pills? What did you poison me with? Blah, blah, blah. And then you see him start to realize, and his eyes turn red, and he transforms there. Imagine how much more effective that is. If it only happens then. Then in the theater, you're like, whoa, shit. Like, all the people that don't know who the Red Hulk is or anything about him, they're all like, oh shit, oh my God. You know what I mean? And then people like me are like, oh shit, it's happening. You know what I mean? That is how you do that. But see, they didn't believe in this movie. So they threw the Red Hulk in all these marketing materials, even though he's only at the end of the movie. It could have been, what could have been a very cool reveal, a very memorable and cool reveal, turned out to be something that we all were waiting to happen. It's very disappointing. It's very disappointing. And it's sad because that's the movie in a nutshell. Very disappointing. You know what I mean? Just everything that they set up, very disappointing. The relationship with Falcon and Sam plays out exactly how you would think. They're all, he's cool. He's a good actor, cool character to an extent, but it plays out exactly what you think. The Isaiah Bradley stuff, very underbaked, man. very like we did this already in Civil War. They even reference it when Sam goes, "I had a friend that this happened to, where he heard music and he heard fucking trigger words and he did things he couldn't control." They even did that. And it was done better in another movie. Everything that they did in this movie was done better in another movie. The Serpent Society is nothing but Hydra because they killed off Hydra, and not nearly as entertaining, man. They everything about it is like something that they did before, but better. And it's very disappointing. That's about all I can say about how I felt about how good or bad this movie is. Very disappointing. So unfortunate, man, because I was looking forward to it because this is my favorite section of the Marvel Universe. Whether it be comics, whether it be these movies, I always loved the political Captain America side of the Marvel Universe. Always have, always will. In fact, I know my boy Adam asked me what's some good comics to kind of read to learn if you want to learn more about some of the characters in the movie. If you want to know more about Sam Wilson as Captain America, get this. This is the complete collection of pretty much the first time Sam Wilson was Captain America. This is the greatest he's ever been written, and I'm not the biggest fan of the Falcon at all. But if you want good Captain America, if you want good Sam Wilson stories, this is the book, man. Written by Nick Spencer and a bunch of other artists, a bunch of other writers. But Nick Spencer is like pretty much like the big head honcho in this. A lot of cool, like there's a really good art with U.S. Agent in here, because one thing that Falcon and the Winter Soldier did, they introduced John Walker, but they didn't show you that John Walker is kind of a nutcase. They didn't show you any of that. You know what I mean? You just kind of. You know what I mean? You just kind of, you find that out. You know what I mean? You find it out, but they didn't really go deep enough with it. How he's like kind of like anti-liberal and kind of a douchebag and doesn't really care about like what people think and the social climate and all that stuff. He more so cares about justice, how he sees it, and they didn't really do that in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But there's a really good arc in here with him and pretty much the ideals of Sam Wilson. And that's another thing that this movie didn't do. A black man is Captain America. Isaiah Bradley was telling him, right? He was like, yo, you're Captain America. You don't need to be doing what the government says because they ain't looking out for us no way. And it never really goes anywhere. They don't really do anything with that. And it's also disappointing. Just everything here is just underbaked or disappointing, man. And it's very annoying. It's very annoying. Like if I had to rate it out of 10, it's like a 6 out of 10, bro. It's a fine movie, but it's not a great one, and it's barely even a good one to me. You know what I mean? I see my boy Adam in the Discord, and he really liked it, and like I can see someone really liking this, and I can also see someone really hating this. You know what I mean? It's like right down the middle. Like if you're somebody who wanted like something a little less cerebral from like something like the Winter Soldier or something like that, then I can see you really loving this movie. I can see you like, because it's less cerebral. It really is. But if you wanted something because I wanted something more akin to the Winter Soldier, and I didn't really get that, man. Because to me, that's the best Marvel movie they ever done. I don't think they'll ever top it. But I didn't really get that because like they kind of teased it, like who's really in charge and blah blah blah. Oh yeah, and by the way, the adamantium thing is literally just a thing to get every nation in the world interested in one place. You know what I mean? And it was funny. My lady who knows a little bit about this stuff, she was like, why does this really matter all that much? And I was like, adamantium is, what Wolverine is made out of. And she was like, oh, you can make crazy shit with that. I was like, and the movie kind of tells you, and I'm like, yeah, but they don't tell you can go as far as like something like Wolverine with this. You know what I mean? But yeah. So that was like just a thing to kind of get, everyone interacting with each other. Giancarlo Esposito and the Serpent Society are extremely underbaked in this. Like they Giancarlo Esposito could be any bad guy, but he's so great that he was fun. He was fun. I hope we see more of him. I also didn't really understand why Seth Rollins was removed from this, because if he was just part of the Serpent Society, That would have been like another like, oh, these dudes are dangerous type deal. If he was like his whole thing was like being a physical foil, they could have kept him in. I don't know why they took him out. It's kind of weird that they took him out. I thought it was weird. And there's a whole lot of other weird decisions, man. The stuff with Betty seemed really underbaked. I feel like we should have had more with like Ross trying to reconnect with her instead of her just going, "Oh, that's fine. I think that'd be nice. I'd like that." We should have had more with her going, "I still don't trust you, man. The man that I love more than anybody, you hunted to the ends of the earth." Like, and all he was trying to do was save everybody. You've been proven to be wrong because of what he's done with the Avengers, and you still haven't even apologized for it. We didn't get any of that. But I do like the change in the philosophy of Ross becoming the Red Hulk, because Jeff Loeb is the one that created the Red Hulk, and the whole thing was like, who is the Red Hulk? Who is the Red Hulk? And he was like this shit talking, like really cocky version of the Hulk, and it's a weird arc. But everybody kind of like thought like, could this be Ross? And like the whole thing was like, it was like a mystery. And then when you find out, the way you find out is like, we were all right, but not how we thought. Because this whole thing was, I did this on purpose, which was cool. You know what I mean? But in this, they flipped it where he did it on accident. And he became the thing that he hated the most, which he hunted. And it just would have been more effective if we would have waited to the end to get it, man. They just cannot help themselves. This should be called Captain America. They can't help themselves, man. That's what they should have called it. But again, it was fine. It was cool. The new Paddington is amazing though. We saw that too. We saw that earlier, and then she went to see Captain America, so we saw them back to back. First we went to breakfast. We saw Paddington, which was amazing. Then we went to see Captain America, which was cool, fine. And then we went to get Indian food, and my stomach is on fire right now. So that was my night. I'll be back with y'all Tuesday on the No Longer Once in a Blue Moon podcast. And 1702 is the beginning of the drama portion of said video. And this will be the last time that I reference this. This will be the last time. But I feel like it would be weird if I got on camera and just said nothing and acted like it didn't happen, because most of the Discord will probably watch this video. So it's weird. I have to say something. So our Discord is pretty much anybody can join. If you want to join our Discord, you can. 99.9999999% of the time. You're welcome. I don't care if you're gay. My dog Gilbert, he's gay. I don't care if you're trans. I don't care whatever walk of life you come from. You can be, a conservative truck driver from Montana. Or you could be a fucking immigrant from Somalia. I don't care. My whole thing is be respectful and be open to conversation. Open to conversation. Keep that point there. All right. I was very rude to someone today. So, since the niggas watching in the Discord watching this, let's point it out. So, Trademark 629, because that's what I'm calling him, otherwise known as Jared, but I'm calling him Trademark 629 for this because that's who he's been this entire time. Was involved in a conversation with my boy Nightmare 10, Philip, right? And he said something I didn't agree with. With him, I'll be 100% honest. I exercise a lot of passion because he says a lot of dumb shit and offensive shit that I won't even run. I'll run down some of it here, but he says a lot of that stuff. So maybe I came in a bit hot. But if you've been watching me for any extended amount of time, that happens every so often. Sometimes I come in a bit hot. Josh has gotten it. Phil has gotten it. Big Rat 310 has gotten it. Everyone that knows me at some point has gotten it, right? They've gotten it. Now, what I will acknowledge is that it may be hard to discern if I don't like you. It may be hard to discern where I am coming from if I do not like you, okay? I was a bit, hot in the tooth, and I made him a bit uncomfortable, and I got a little mean after he tried to play with me. You know what I mean? Did the punishment Fit the crime? Absolutely. I'm only laughing because I'm compartmentalizing it in my whole head. Did the punishment fit the crime? Absolutely not. Did I go too far? Absolutely. Guys, like I saw like some of y'all, please do not take my side. There's no side to take. And what the way I handled that was wrong. It was absolutely wrong. But one thing that I will do and say is that I don't want anyone to not feel welcome in the space that I'm in. You know what I mean? Anyone. I don't want anyone to not feel welcome in the space that I'm in. So if you guys want him back, I will leave. But I will say this. Because he's the only person in this whole entire community that I don't like at all. Like Bill and Doug, I disagree with every single word that Doug has ever said in the history of not Doug, Bill, that every word that Bill has ever said in the history of anything. But one thing Bill has never done is played with me. Is like legit, you tell him something that like I don't know Bill that well. I can't really say, is it Bill or Doug? Whichever one wears the hat. If it's that one, right? I disagree with everything he says, but I don't really know him well. That's probably the best thing. I don't really know him well enough to be like, yo, I hate you or I dislike you. I don't know him well enough to really say that. So it is what it is. See, Trademark I know because when he was a kid, he said and did things that were offensive as shit. Oh, by the way, I'm calling names here just to kind of point out. He said and did things that were offensive as shit. And then when people called him on it, he didn't fucking care. You know what I mean? He didn't fucking care. So I was like, this is the image I have of this man for him as a kid to now, right? So there's some things that I could have said and done that could have really really made y'all all look at him differently. Like some of the things like, you know, like I could have, but I didn't want to do that at first because he is a young man and I don't want to ruin his life. You know what I mean? But what I should have done immediately is say, I don't like this dude. I do not like this dude. We should have told him that up front because I can't block him, right? You know what I mean? But I should have told him straight up, like, hey, brother, I don't like you. Here is why. You know what I mean? Good example is, you know, we try to educate him on the Janelle Grant, Triple H, the Janelle Grant lawsuit, and what he does is tries to play both sides of the field, more so kind of justifying that, oh, it looks like they dealt with a lot of this stuff internally. When we're like, nah, motherfucker, when Dominic Mysterio still does, you know what I'm saying? And he doubled down on this. Like when Dominic Mysterio still does like, you know, angles like he did with Liv Morgan, he doubled down on this, you know what I mean? And then he tells us that we're right, and then a couple of days later, we're having the same debate. We try to educate him on how Triple H obviously looks at black people differently. I don't know if he's racist, but he clearly looks at black people differently than the way he looks at the rest of the roster. We point out examples. We show him why he's wrong. And then he goes, oh, okay. He tells me and another person in Discord, my dog Taylor, that he's wrong, right? But then a couple days later, we're having the same discussion. Then we talk about anything, and he's just flat out wrong, or he's mistaken, or he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Instead of him going, my bad, he doubles down. So in my mind, that same kid that said and did disrespectful shit, made jokes in poor taste, and was just all around just fucking weird, is the same man that's in front of me. You know what I'm saying? And I never said it. I never just came out and said it, all because I was asked to be nicer to him. I tried being nice. I really did. I tried at first. And then it got to the point where I didn't try. I didn't try at all. I'll acknowledge that. I didn't try at all. But seriously, but in all seriousness, right? In all seriousness, I want everyone to feel welcome. And if my presence makes everyone feel like they're not welcome, I will get up out of there. It's just that simple. Because this space saved my life. The YWC saved my life, bro. I've said it before, man. I was depressed. I was broke. my friends in real life were fucking trifling as hell, either in and out of jail. Uh, you know what I'm saying? Some of them dope fiends now are dead, bro. I come from the wrong side of the tracks. You know what I mean? The wrong side of the tracks, which is another thing that I tried to educate that man on, trying to make it see when we talked about opportunities here in the United States of America. Him trying to say nobody's marginalized. Nobody. You can just work hard and get out of your situation. Like, brother, Markeem Graham is not gonna get the same job as Kyle Smith. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Or we're not gonna get looked at the same as Kyle Smith. Markeem Graham and Kyle Smith, false equivalency. You know what I mean? But instead of him trying to understand what we were telling him, he doubled down on that. He doubles down on that fact. So yes, did he do anything to warrant me basically telling him that nobody likes him, which isn't true, by the way. Like, a lot of people, Kid pointing that out, which is true. A lot of people in that Discord do like him. You know what I mean? A lot of y'all I'm cool with. I don't understand why, but a lot of y'all do. So cool. Like, I get it. But in the heat of the moment, I wasn't thinking, let me call him polarizing. I wasn't thinking that, you know what I mean? But yeah, people do. That's not true. People do like him, and that's fine. And if he sees this, cool. But he knows what I'm saying is true. He's gonna act like he doesn't know what I'm saying is true, but he knows what I'm saying is absolutely true. He knows he used to come in there every day and fucking poke the bear and then go, well, y'all just, he'd do that. He'd poke the bear and then throw his hands up every fucking day. So eventually, I reacted. Did I overreact? Y'all niggas know I overreact. Like, I'm not saying, like, look, I want y'all to understand, like, even to Jake, listen to me. Even to Taylor, listen to me. There's no justifying, bro, the way I talked to that man today over something small. You know what I mean? But when a lot of small things add up, it becomes animosity. And my lady told me straight up, she was like, I come off abrasive sometimes, which is true. But one thing that I always do, if I just do not like somebody, I come out and say it. And it's my own fault if I'm mean to that person without telling them initially, yo, I don't like you. And then we can handle this how we handle it. You know what I mean? Because to be fair to him, he was in there thinking that nobody here hates him. Nobody here dislikes him. You know what I mean? The newsflash, is people that do. But he was under that impression. And that wasn't fair for me to treat him like that. You know what I mean? Because he doesn't know what I know in a lot of cases. You know what I'm saying? So, but again, like for y'all to feel better, you know, if y'all want to, you know what I'm saying? If y'all want me to leave, I will leave. You know what I mean? Because this is a place that me, Chase, Josh, Brandon, the Blue Moon Podcast, part of the reason we cultivated it was for someone like my dog Dan Spencer, R.I.P. Calvin E. Hobbs, who wanted us to all stay in touch, wanted us to all engage in discussing, wanted us to disagree like we always do. You know what I mean? He wanted us to do that. And the spirit of it is gone if I'm not willing to step back knowing that, you know, maybe people feel uncomfortable now. You know what I'm saying? So if that's what y'all want me to do, I will. But I will also say this. Trademark, I do not want you to hurt yourself or harm yourself or anything like that. But I need you to understand that I do not like you. It's clear now. I don't like you. And if you have to ask why, you really haven't learned